With the GOP Attorney General candidate Doug Wardlow. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Before we get into the Ellison stuff, I do want to give you an opportunity. Saw a release that you guys sent out yesterday. We were talking about the fundraising in the governor's race a little bit in the last segment, but you had some pretty exciting fundraising news come around as well, right?
We did, yes. We had a fantastic fundraising report yesterday. We raised well over, I think it was $430,000 total, and we've got nearly as much cash on hand as Keith Ellison, and that really just shows tremendous strength. I mean, we've raised nearly 4 times as much money for the cycle so far than any previous Republican candidate for Attorney General in the last couple of decades. So it shows real strength, and Keith Ellison's, he should be able to raise money very easily, you would think, as a sitting congressman, but it's really not coming in for him as we would have expected.
Well, there's been a lot of news coverage around Keith Ellison and the accusations against him. You know, we don't have to tell you, Doug Wardlow. Watched the debate between the two of you guys from over the weekend. Know that you had an opportunity to speak even further on Fox News. But those clips from the debate, man, and good job to you. I thought you did a fantastic job during that. I think Drew and I both did. But you know, the more that he addresses these allegations, I think the more people are beginning to understand how serious they need to be taken, given the level of credibility and evidence produced by both of those accusers.
Well, that's exactly right. The more he talks about these allegations, the more clear it is that, first of all, the accusers are very credible and there's strong supporting evidence. And as he's explaining, his own credibility drops.
We know that the DFL investigation into the allegations is supposed to be wrapping up. Ken Martin made mention of that. We had our own theories that didn't quite, at least not have yet, come to fruition. We kind of expected that they may drop prior to the hearing this morning. However, there was a bit of news that did come out about Ellison. The Star Tribune reported on it, and most of the outlets did. Yesterday, Ellison asked the House Ethics Committee to investigate his former girlfriend's allegation that he physically abused her, saying, "I'm taking this step now because I'm innocent and eager to see this entire matter resolved," he said in the statement. You care to comment on why, if there's already an independent investigation going on, that Keith Ellison would go and ask for a U.S. House ethics investigation?
Exactly, and that's exactly that's the important thing to point out here, is that this is really a startling implied admission here by Mr. Ellison, because obviously he doesn't think that the investigation of the DFL doing is truly independent, or he doesn't think that people will perceive it as independent, as rightly they should not, because it isn't independent. And so he knows that, and so he's admitting that by calling for a House investigation, House ethics investigation, but he also knows that it's unlikely that any such investigation would conclude prior to the election, which is just 40 days away. And it's an investigation being done in Congress, and he's leaving Congress, so there would be no real impact on him. So it's a no-lose situation scenario for him to just go ahead and call for this investigation to try to make himself look more innocent and try to draw the spotlight away from the investigation that is not independent, that the DFL is doing, because the results of that investigation the DFL is doing just simply can't be trusted.
And not only that, but it does allow him the opportunity to continue, drag it out a little closer to the election and just be able to say, look, it's under investigation. It's currently being investigated, and that way, he continues to be able to create sort of an air of question and questioning the credibility of the accusations. How much, when you're out there on the campaign trail and when you're out there talking to people, obviously, you're focusing on wanting to do the job of the Attorney General and what your priorities will be as Attorney General. But I'm curious, what are you hearing more about when you talk to constituents? Is it more about the job of the Attorney General and how, and what they would like your priorities to be? Or is it more about Keith Ellison and this scandal?
Actually, I hear more about what people think the Attorney General should be doing. The thing I hear most about is the fact that people want an Attorney General who's going to take the politics out of the office. And people are very concerned about the fact that Keith Ellison has stated on multiple occasions that he wants to use the office to wage a political war against the president, to obstruct the president, to push a political agenda through the courts. People are really concerned about that, and that's actually what I hear about most. I also hear quite a bit about the fact that we need an attorney general who's just going to do the basic job of being the attorney general, standing up for Minnesotans and every Minnesotan's rights under the Constitution and the law, and rebuilding the criminal law division of the office. I hear a lot about that. And then, of course, I do hear about the abuse allegations, but the first thing people usually talk to me about is the politicization of the office.
Doug Wardlow, GOP candidate for Attorney General. Give out your website, any other information that you'd like the voters to have if they want to learn more about your campaign or perhaps get involved.
Absolutely. So the website is DougWardlowAG.com, DougWardlowAG.com, and check out the website, go to our Facebook page, and get involved in the campaign. Congratulations
on those excellent fundraising numbers. I think that really says a lot about how much people care about this race, how much people want to see you and just someone get in there and actually do the job of Attorney General. And you've been doing a great job on the campaign trail so far. Keep up the good work. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's very exciting. We have a real opportunity here to do something historic, take back the Attorney General's office for the cause of the rule of law and liberty for the first time in 48 years. Yeah, in 5 decades. Longer than I've been alive. Yep. That's stunning. Take care, Doug. We'll talk to you again soon. All right. Thank you. Take care.